Good morning and welcome to the post-mortem of the Happy Valley meeting on Thursday. Um, as I said, it was an interesting card. There were a few weak favourites. We managed to get them rolled. We did have a couple of chances in the parlays. Interesting one in race 7 with Jazzy Feeling. When we got the result, it was the wrong result for us. There was a massive difference between the thing that ran third and the thing that ran fourth against the actual Quinella that we got. But shows you the power of a small parlay. Finished up almost 100,000 in Quinellas in the last, about 1,600 units or something on each combination. So it was a decent go. And it's certainly very heartening and encouraging for the coming season. That's certainly something that's going to be in our armoury for next year. We have been trialling it. We've kept it under wraps for a while, the way we wanted to play it. You've got a very brief glimpse of it last night. The card started off not too bad. We banked Red Courage in the first. It got attacked in front and did a big job to hold on and run second. Unfortunately, we never had the winner, Mr. Quinella. We got a QP out of it. It was a good run. China Power sat on it, and those two fought out the finish. And the thing that settled third on the rails, it sort of followed them home. The run of the race was without doubt King Derby. Now, we gave this one a wrap in the preview. It was 25s into 5s. Wasn't one of Purton's better rides, although he was a little bit unlucky coming to the corner. He got shuffled back behind a couple of the crabs, and he did come charging home. Might pinch one before the season's finished. Race 2, Trey Magnifique, another one that I gave a rap to and thought it was going to improve. Went and sat outside the lead. There was a fairly decent leader bias here tonight. There were a couple that made ground, but not many. It battled on strongly and was too strong late. Valero battled on okay. Not much can be said for the rest. Viva Guy was hard ridden out of the gates, battled on okay. I think it's probably had enough for the season. Race 3, Dark Secret. Bit more luck this time. This was a pretty decent ride by Berry. Managed to weave a passage, and he did get held up at around the 250. He managed to get it out and out wide, and it closed pretty quick. It was a good run, good win. Mizzen Gray ran a reasonable race. Humongous settled a bit closer than normal and battled on late. It was a good run. Of the rest, I wouldn't be following too many of these. With a couple of meetings to go, I think they've all had enough. Race 5, Diligent 3. Yeah, it settled on the speed. He angled out. It was under the pump coming around the corner, but just shows you how bad some of these are. It just kept grinding away, and it was too good. Brave Brother started one of the favourites. It didn't run the trip out. I think the paddock for it. Ray's favourite. It sat 4 wide for the trip. Nice ride by Douglas. Beaten a couple of lengths. It was a reasonable run. Not much can be said for most of these. It was a fairly ordinary race. Race 6, the favourites won, Beauty Sparkle, despite everything. Chadwick did do it. Found it was slower away than he rode his ears off to get it up. And he was in the moving line. He went down to the rails and he got blocked and he couldn't get it out. And he got it out with about 100 to go. It was just too good for these goats. It was a pretty tough win. It'll win better races next season. Braveness, it was impressive first up. Hadn't had a run for a while. Had a leg injury. It came running home strongly. Touch, Go, it ran a reasonable race. It was right on the speed all the way. Victorious, this was a red hot run. It was last coming around the corner. Come flashing home, beating a length and a half or something. It was a pretty decent run. Not much could be said for the rest of these. Race 7. This is where we had the parlay Jazzy Feeling banked. We were never in any danger of not getting the Quinella. The unfortunate thing was that the second or third favourite managed to get up and win the race and beat us. It was probably the worst dividend of all that we had coming for us. Certainly the third horse was a 5 times as big a result, and the fourth horse was a 10 times as big a result. So it was it was a decent result that we had for a moderate investment. The winner sat third on the rails, got the suck run and fell in basically. Jazzy feeling. Chadwick repeated the poor ride on the previous one with Beauty Sparkle, but this time he managed to get this one beaten. It was a pretty ordinary ride. He had a good run, and then he went the wrong way. So it come flashing home and got beaten, not probably a half hit or something. So the rest, I think they've all basically had enough for this season. And the last race, we banked You Will Be Glorious. It's done its job. It's run second. Unfortunately, we couldn't marry it up with the place getters. We did go for a bit of value here with a couple of them. They battled on okay. Indigo Way was the big go. It was 33s into 10s. Ridden far too close for it and battled on, beaten 3 lengths. The winner, Cheers Joy, had a stable change and a gear change, drew the outside, just dragged it back to last, pulled it around, coming around the corner and swamped them late. It was a pretty decent win. You Will Be Glorious, ridden a bit closer and it ran on strongly. Invictus has had enough. Born to Win, it fluked its decent run a while ago. That's it for it. I don't think we'll be seeing too many of these on the last 2 days. We go to Sha Tin on the weekend. There's a jackpot in the TT and a jackpot in the 6-up. All up, I think there's probably 3.5 in one and just under 2 in the other. So there's 5 up for grabs plus the extras. There's probably going to be 10 or 15 million up for grabs on the weekend. And a jackpot component going forward to next Wednesday, the last meeting at Happy Valley. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you've had a bit of success in the last few days. I will put up a from the book preview tomorrow, Friday evening, for the weekend racing in Oz. Thanks for tuning in and good morning.